what is the light body? So firstly, we will take a look at the CNC rotor structures. You can see this is a CNC rotor structure, and in this part here, this white part here, and here, this part is welding by the square pipe. So you will see all the white one is welding by the square welding pipe, and here the blue parts is just a decoration. For example, if there's no blue area, you will see here is already empty. This one is empty, and the blue pipe is just the blue plate is just a decoration, and it is screwed by the screw. And this blue parts can be easily taken off by loosening the screw here. So if we take off the blue parts off, you just can find the white parts. This is a main frame of the CNC rotor, and you will find this structure is very simple. Just to weld some square pipe together, and then you can make the frame, and then use the blue sheet to decorate this main body, and it can be a CNC rotor. Okay, now let's take a look at the fiber laser cutting machine, and this is the light body with some economic parts. Firstly, you can see from the front. Here have 4 screws. That means this is a decoration part. It can be easily taken away from the CNC rotor mainframe. Now let's take a look at the back side of the economic type fiber laser cutting machine. We will take off the back side, the cover, to see the inner structure of the fiber laser cutting machine. When we take off the cover, you can see easily the fiber laser cutting machine is welding by the square pipe from this part, rear part, left part, white part, and this vertical part is all the square welding pipe. And now we take a measure of the thickness. The whole pipe The whole pipe is 10 centigram. 10 centigram. 好，这就是厚度。The thickness of the pipe, we will measure it. .5 mm. This is the thickness of the square sheet of the metal sheet. So this square pipe is welding by the 6.5 mm thickness metal sheet. Also, for this part we touched. This part is the basement of this fiber laser cutting machine, and this part is also used 6.5 mm thickness metal to support. So you will find the light body. The structure is made by the square pipe, and this square pipe is welding by the 6.5 mm thickness metal sheet. So also for the basement is also used the 6.5 mm metal sheet. Okay, and you will find there's a 3 screw. 1, 2, 3. These 3 screws is to make this red body. This red body is a decoration body. It is made together with the 3 screws to the main frame, and it can be easily taken down. So from this you will find this machine is just support by this main frame, and this main frame is just made by the white pipe. Okay, we will take off the decoration parts and to see the working table. When we take off the decoration parts, you can easily see the working table here. This working table of the fiber laser cutting machine is also made by square pipe like this. This is also made by welding square pipe, and the thickness is about 4 mm thickness, because this one is smaller than the main frame structure. But when you see the working table structure, you can easily imagine how the main frame structure is. Actually, you can imagine if this fiber laser cutting machine is only welding by this square pipe, the weight of this machine is very light. The whole machine with all the spare parts in this machine will not exceed 2 tons. But for the economic body, it's not only the difference of the weight of the body, but also for the cross beam is also very important. This cross beam is made by aluminium alloy. It's not by the casting iron or other parts or other material. The aluminium alloy is very light, and also the price is very economic. You will see in many CNC rotor they will use economic alloy to make the cross beam, while in our high configuration we will use the casting iron to make the cross beam. So it's totally different. The price will be much higher than the aluminium alloy cross beam. For the aluminium cross beam, since the weight of it is very light, so it can be used to cut very thick material. For example, very thick stainless steel or very thick mild steel. But in our high configuration, because we all use the high configuration to cut very thin stainless steel or mild steel, that means just like the fiery light laser or Hans laser or golden laser, the high configuration with the 500 watts or 1100 watts or 2100 watts, 2000 watts, we all use the cast iron structure. But just used in the channel letter cutting or advertisement area, we will use this type, because the channel letter cutting area or advertisement areas, they do not require high cutting thickness or require high cutting precision. And for this cross beam, the weight of the whole cross beam made by aluminium alloy is about 150 kilogram. But for the our standard configuration or higher configuration, the cross beam made by the casting alloy or casting iron, the weight is about 400 kilogram. So it's very heavy. But this one is a light cross beam. and also this one is made by the screw to make all the aluminum alloy together. But our standard type and the high configuration type, they all use the casting alloy. It is completely one part, no any screws or any other parts to make together on it. It is totally one part. And also for the motor and the driver, when we use the motor and the driver in our standard configuration or the high configuration, we will use 1800 watts for the high configuration, and we will use 1300 watts in the standard configuration. But normally we just use the 750 watts. In this economic type, you will see this one. This one is a Panasonic type, Panasonic brand, and this one is the 750 watts. So it is a small power Panasonic servo motor. So even we will use Panasonic servo motor in our standard configuration or high configuration or the economic configuration, but we will use the different watts. So because the one machine has 4 motors, so their price will be at least $2,200 difference. And now we take a look at the guide rail. The guide rail, we will use the same brand, is the Taiwan imported High-Wing brand. But for the High-Wing brand, we also have the diameter difference. Actually, for the standard configuration or higher configuration, we will use the High-Wing with the 25 mm thickness. But for the economic type, normally in this market, all the supplier will use the same 20 mm thickness. For this one, you will check this is 20 mm thickness. Okay, now let's take a look at the rack. This is the rack. All the machine will have 2 racks in the back, in the left and the right side. And for this rack, we also have the different configurations. For example, in the standard configuration and the higher configuration, we will use the rack with the Henny brand, which is imported from Germany. And if in the economic type, normally we will use the made in China brand. And so the difference, because in the machine it's totally have 10 meters of the rack, which have the in the 2 axles, in the X axis and the Y axis. So the totally length is the 10 meters. So the difference will be, the price difference will be $1,200, which is between use the Henny brand or made in China brand. And for the electronic parts in this whole machine, for the high configuration and the standard configuration, we will use the Schneider brand, which is very famous French brand, and it is the world 500 top companies in the world. And while in the economic type, we will use Zhengtai brand, which is made in China. So it has much price difference in this electronic parts in the fiber laser cutting machine. So the totally difference of the $20,000 is including the machine body and the worker table frame and the motor and the guide rail brand and the thickness and the rack brand and the thickness and the electronic parts brand and its which is famous or which is made in China. Now let's look at the 2 sides of this machine. You can see this is the red area and this is the white area. This red area is just the cover, which made by the metal sheets, and it is a decoration cover for this machine. And also the white area, this is also a metal sheet, which is a cover for this machine. So the square welding pipe is inside of this cover. Let's look at it from the left to right side. You will find here is the two parts. So that means this cover is not a complete cover. It's made by two parts. Also, in the rear parts of this machine, this red area is a cover. This red area is also a cover. So you will find this economic type of fiber laser cutting machine is structure is very similar with the CNC rotor. It is made by the square welding pipe. Just this is have a very beautiful cover. So from the customer side, they cannot recognize so clearly. But this one is very famous in the advertisement field, especially for cutting the advertisement letter is enough. But for some higher precision requirements, for example, some component cutting, normally we will recommend the standard configuration.